Good morning and welcome to episode 1634 of Hard Factor. It is Monday, January 27th, 2025. Thank you for cheating on the news with us. 80-ish% accuracy guaranteed on this podcast. Patreon.com/Hard Factor if you need more Hard Factor. Today, we've got a relatively funny update on immigration. Not the typical immigration, actually some comedic value in this one, you know, not just the typical sad stuff, some funny stuff that happened with immigration too.
Good. Love that.
Yeah.
See, it's not see, you see.
See. So, sometimes it can be funny. Sometimes, once in a while, one time out of 6 years. And then we got more Musk on deck with Pat.
Yeah, man. He's a pesky little cat, that Musk. We got to keep an eye on him because he's doing some stuff that you're like, what? What's when do we?
He's trolling.
He's going a step further
nationally now. Yeah.
Am I allowed to say what I think about what he just did or not? You know?
Yeah, no, you can. I mean, it's getting tougher to deny, but this is a step further than a troll, my friend. Yeah. I got some theories.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he gave a speech to slake the thirst of the theories, and we got Bigfoot searches with Wes.
Mm-hmm. What this man did to his wife is one of the worst things. He made the biggest fool out of this woman. I don't know if anyone's ever made a bigger fool out of his wife than this guy.
I can see that.
Wow. All right.
Yeah,
I can see that. And we got Canada being colder than a witch's titty with Mark.
I think. Well, where's Lake Erie? Isn't it?
Well, it's like on the border, right? Does it?
Yeah,
part
it could be technically Canadian? In between.
It is a Great Lake. Yeah, it is. It's up there. It's very hard to tell.
It's a Canadian vessel that,
especially if you're not from the Midwest,
cold titty weather dealing with. Yeah.
Okay. Where does the expression "colder than a witch's titty" come from?
Dude, I heard a spin on that recently.
What'd you hear?
Colder than a witch's
vagina.
Cooter.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Ooh.
I would think that a witch not burdened by any sort of like, you know, religious guilt or like inhibited.
Oh, like
by,
she's
like,
got a lot of STDs. Yeah.
Well, like there's also like you know, she's like outside of like the social norms. Like she's banging at her will, really. You know.
Yeah. Is it because they fly so high on their brooms? It's cold up there.
It could get cold up there. I mean, they don't talk about witches in altitude often.
But they're so close to cauldrons; they're always boiling. When their titties be hot,
it's a misnomer.
Yeah,
I don't know. Some say witches' titties are cold. At least that's
like
why
vampires' titties would be very cold.
Yeah, because they're dead.
Yeah.
Also, obviously, we're taping this game right after the Eagles Commanders NFC Championship game. Congratulations to Mark and the Eagleses for EGLSES.
The Elks had a pretty good game on Sunday.
They did. They deserve. Hey, Commanders handled that fucking ball like a loaf of bread, and the Eagles made them pay for it.
Like it wasn't Jaden Daniels' fault. They got
Saquon Barkley. You got to give it up for the Eagles.
Gotta give it up.
What a day.
Barkley and the GM of the Giants. Thank you so much. You know, like you got to give it up.
Yeah, thank you, Mara, to the Eagles.
Yeah, you got to give it up to them. But I mean, listen, the Eagles were going to win that game regardless of how you handle the ball. Jaden Daniels did not lose that game for the Commanders.
The rest of the players, it was sad. Yeah,
but it's our time left hand up. It's not yet. It will be in the future. There will be a day when you will have a 55-23 victory. It's not today.
Oh no, I mean,
we beat you once this year.
Oh, sure, yeah, cool. We had a backup quarterback. We beat you by 30 points an hour ago, you dummy.
You're gonna gloat?
We just destroyed you. We beat you once this year. How are you feeling about that?
You gonna gloat, Mark?
Well, you brought it on yourself.
They won the NFC title game.
Mark, you're gonna get your ass handed to you in the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
Oh
totally.
no,
like
you
gotta be
rooting. Because Vegas also thinks so, even though we're favored.
No, Pat, we gotta be rooting, especially if the Chiefs win. I don't care how much I hate the Eagles. If the Chiefs win, I need the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. I cannot. Please.
We'll see what happens.
Please.
I think the big takeaway of the game is the weirdness that went down with the tush push at the goal. That's the league wide implications.
Dude,
that was
Louisville
strange.
was like a Uso brother, like a Uso over the jumping over the line 6 times in a row. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be like the first time that they were going to award a touchdown for a team being ridiculous.
The ref threatened him.
I mean, the tush pushes days are numbered. If it's having the commentators call up rules you didn't know about.
The other team that's utilizing it might be the opponent in the Super Bowl. Josh Allen's 29 for 31 now as we're recording on
with
the
tush pushes. Yeah. Dude, the tush push era is lame. I'm going to say that, but hey, the Eagles are good at it. That's for sure. They won the game fair and square. Ass kicking for sure.
You guys have a bright future, but that was a complete win. Yeah,
absolutely. Look, Washington goes back to the drawing board with a great fucking GM. Adam Peters, let him cook. We'll be all right. Jaden Daniels, man, you see how much of a competitor he is? You think that he's going to like chill on that loss in the fucking?
No, he's going to be so mad. He's going to be so mad for so long.
Yeah. No, he was fuming on the sidelines. I loved it. I love seeing that. I can't wait to watch him fucking come back.
And Louisville, as crazy as he is, was still jumping off sides like when they were down by 60. Like
Louisville's going to be knocking people out.
The team's going to be
kill Jared Goff again next year. Okay.
But the Eagles are winning the fucking Super Bowl. This game that's going on while we're recording is of no consequence.
Will we spin the wheel at the end for the cock erection thing?
Wes, good call. I'm bringing it up. The wheel's coming up. Don't worry. Don't worry. Pat and I have to. Me or Pat, who's going to monitor their erection?
If I do it, I'm doing it with the old school one.
Yeah, hell yeah, you got that right.
Fair.
Absolutely.
It's monitor's choice.
I'm getting it used on eBay.
It's going to print up your data.
On which boner monitor you go with.
Just give me the login information and so I can keep track, okay?
Of course.
Yeah, Wes is going to be all eyes on.
First thing I do in the morning is going to see how one of your erections went overnight.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Wes has full access to the app. That's how this works. Okay. So we're gonna
the administrator.
But I don't know if Pat's old school thing has the app though. So that's the thing.
I'm gonna get the new school one. I can't find the old school one. Okay.
Well, Wes is our resident erection scientist.
I was gonna have a little bit of a hissy fit if I didn't.
We have to let you do your work. Yeah.
The new erection.
You're gonna gotta let Wes crazy.
Yeah. We can't in your process, Wes. We get that. So we're gonna give you the boner data. We'll fork it over. Let's see who it is. Will or Pat? Here we go.
Who will I look at the erections of? It's gonna be
so close. Whoa, it's so close.
Pat's erections.
Yeah.
Get monitor. Yes. All right. Hey Pat, we can split the cost of the Adam cents. We discussed that on the
take it from the group fund. No one's paying for it. Take it from the company fund.
Okay, that's not the kind of place this is.
All right, I'll send it to you after I'm done with it, Will.
But thank you. Yeah, we're gonna split it.
It's like a Christmas. It's like a fucked up Christmas gift. You can send it every year.
All right, there it is. Well, birds to the Super Bowl, and we get to find out more about our erection data, starting with Pat. So I'd say it's a win for everybody at Hard Factor, really.
Absolutely.
Okay, you guys want to talk about the latest in immigration?
Please.
Like I was saying, you never do. I know you never do. Nobody does, because a lot of times immigration stories are really sad, right? We've talked about them many times on the show before. The dangers of the migrants on the way up. What's the Durian Gap, that thing? It's like the rape festival that happens. Mm-hmm. The sometimes awkward and violent encounters at the border, right? Once migrants get to the border, the whips and whatnot, chains, yo-yos, whistles. And then, of course, the deportation of those who don't end up successfully getting permission to stay in the U.S., which is a ton of people, 11.7 million at the moment, to be exact. And a lot of Trump's campaign was about returning illegal immigrants to their countries of origin, something that is hotly contested politically. And so as it gets started, the deportations, the debate is heating up. But these updates are actually kind of comical this time. In countries like Guatemala, where military planes are returning deportees to their countries of origin, regular flights of about 80 people at a time, and C-17 transport planes have
fucking depressing flight.
have begun. That is a depressing flight. With Guatemala
Does anyone
taking
want,
2 of those planes.
We will be getting the drink
That's fine.
service soon. It's like, fuck you.
No,
They should make them caravan back,
Yeah.
Military plane, definitely no drink service. You're like sitting on like the edge, the side of the plane.
C-17 is like what you see in like in a movie when they're like loading up
Yeah.
for some sort of big ass mission.
Did they drop them out of the sky?
You could put a
Sitting on
tank in
benches,
it.
probably. No, they land them. They land them.
They hand them parachutes.
No, they land them. Wes, we know that they land them because in Mexico, Mexico has denied landing to the initial migrant return flights until the USA guarantees that we're only sending Mexico Mexicans. That one is still being negotiated. Mexico says, hey, we don't want just truckfuls of immigrants unless they're actually Mexicans. So that one's being negotiated. And over in Colombia,
Fair.
we have a pretty hilarious mix of both of those situations. President Gustavo Petro denied the deportation aircrafts as well coming to Colombia over the weekend, but then Trump said he'd tariff them 25% extra, up to 50%, which would crush their economy. And Petro caved immediately, relenting to accept the Colombian migrants back to Colombia, which is just sort of an odd move by Petro since these were all Colombians, unlike the Mexico situation. But his play also didn't work out anyways. He was like saying, we're not going to allow them to care, but he ended it. He felt Gustavo Petro. Yeah. So he's sending his presidential plane up now to pick up all the illegal Colombian migrants. So.
But he didn't he put the tariff through? I don't think they caved because he was. I read that he was saying 2 can play at that game.
Just before the show, yeah, he caved. I got a screenshot
Okay.
I forgot to load.
Okay.
But yeah, just before the show.
Do you have the Nigerian president? What he said?
His presidential plane. Now, what did Nigeria say?
President Tinubu from Nigeria said he's going to send all U.S. people back to the U.S. and he's banning U.S. phones, including the iPhone. He's like, hey, they're like, fine, fuck you. There's a lot of countries that are like, fuck you. Yeah,
we get like 500 people back. Sweet.
700, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, awesome. Good move, Tinubu. And funniest of all, in legal immigration, a federal jury has convicted Mexican citizen Jesus Gaitan Garcia, who now lives in Chicago, of aiding and abetting interstate transportation of stolen property for $700,000 cash. On July 30th of 2023, Gaitan Garcia called the Hartford, Michigan Four Winds Casino. Okay, and so this he calls them up, right? He claims to be a Pokagon band of the Potawatomi Indians chairperson, and he says, "I'm in urgent need of funds." And he convinced this Four Winds Casino in Hartford, Michigan, the supervisor there, to bring him a bag of cash of $700,000 cash from the Michigan casino to a gas station.
That's an urgent need right there. $700,000.
Gary, Indiana. Yeah, like
that's
what
like
the fuck?
Clean up a couple hookers' dead bodies cash.
Wait. You said to where?
Convincing dude. To Gary, Indiana. This dude.
There hasn't been $700,000 cash in Gary, Indiana since the last time Michael Jackson visited.
Right, and then July 30th, 2023. Yeah, when they drove this dude the bag.
So, well, I'm assuming that this casino is run by this tribe that this guy said he was a member of, correct? Is that?
Yeah, or like they're like a member. Yeah, they're like a. I think maybe a lot of tribes have a piece of the casino, you know, and like that, and this is like a tribe that they would be supporting financially, something like that, right? Right. And so Gaitan Garcia calls in, and he's like, "Yeah, it's me from the Pokagon band of the Potawatomi Indians, and I need $700,000 cash now, and you got to bring it to me in Gary, Indiana now." And the supervisor somehow, no idea how, was like, "Okay, we'll bring you the cash, sir, in a bag." And then. No, Wes, he wasn't, because they cooperated with the investigation.
He must have been aggressive on the phone. Yeah.
Right. How is this dude so convincing? And then the employee did drive the bag of cash to 2 unknown men, presumably Mexican men, because one was Jesus, telling investigators that they'd been misled by whoever told them to bring the cash to the gas station. So they gave over $700,000 in cash, thinking it was fellow Native Americans in desperate need. And then they saw the 2 Mexican dudes they handed it to at the gas station and were like, "Oh shit, we got to report this." So
we've been had.
Yeah, we've been had. And so months later, investigators later searched Jesus's home, finding not only the bundle of cash still wrapped in the paper band that from the casino, it was stamped with the word Hartford and the location and time that the casino gave it out to him. So the dude,
he wrote "fooled them" on it.
He stayed in the same house. What an idiot!
Stayed in the same house in Chicago. Didn't move. Didn't even take
the money out of the envelope.
Cash.
Yeah.
Didn't take the fucking bands off the cash.
I don't know who's dumber in this situation.
Right.
Dude, how could you be that good of a con man and be that dumb?
Well, it's the blindly the blind. They had to have thought at some point, like even though the guy's like, yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there soon. I'm leaving soon. They had to be like, there's no way he's showing up to this gas station, right? Like there had to be in the back of their mind. There's just no way.
He went through with it, and somehow Gaetan Garcia knew that they would do it for like a tribe representative, and so he got away with it. But he was found guilty of theft from an Indian tribal organization and a 5-year felony, given the amount, the $700,000, and interstate transportation.
Feathers and everything.
He probably did. He probably did it first.
Thank you for.
He's on a horse.
Yeah. So he's got five
Did
years.
it take you so long to get here?
5 years for the theft, an additional 10 potentially for the interstate transportation of the stolen goods. And obviously he may prefer to go back to Mexico at this point, but I don't think he qualifies for the free flight since he appears to have immigrated legally.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. He faked being an Indian to rob an Indian casino. It's one of the wildest schemes I've ever seen. And
My
then
granddad always
got
used to
away
say
with
that Indians are the Polacks of the Americas.
Right. Easy to trick.
Yeah.
What?
And then that's what he
said. That's what his
grandfather
said.
And my grandfather.
This was his words.
Yeah.
And so in
dumb
this
as
case,
the Polish.
In this case, Grandpop, he was a little bit ahead of his time there, because in this case, yeah, very easy to fool. I don't know why you take them the $700,000 in cash before verifying something. That's nuts. Right. Anyways,
Casino
this dude advantage of it. Now he's a felon.
So much cash. That's it. That's where you want to. That's the business you want to go when you hear a story like this. Because if it's that easy to get that much cash, you know how much cash is floating around. It's
right.
There's a lot of cash.
And I get there's a ton of cash in a casino, but what is this? The 1970s? Like they wouldn't wire him the fucking money if he urgently needed it. They drove it to a gas station. Like, use your head.
Yeah, and then didn't like. Maybe they should have.
There's like 70 apps.
Right,
there's 70 apps that could have been used to
they
get
just showed
them
up
money
themselves. Yeah, the non-Native American
daily
dudes
limits, though.
Just grab it. Yeah. So speaking of cash, though, you want to keep as much of it pocket. And have you ever wondered how much of your personal data is out there on the internet for anyone to see? More than you think. Your name, contact info, social security number, and home address, even information about your family members, all being compiled by data brokers sold online. All of us are struck by some form of identity theft over the internet. Data brokers make profit off of it. Okay, your data is a commodity. Anyone on the web can buy your private details. This leads to identity theft, phishing attempts, harassment, and unwanted spam calls. Now you can protect your privacy with Delete Me. That's why we personally recommend Delete Me. It's an app. Delete Me is a subscription service that removes your personal info from hundreds of data brokers. Sign up and provide Delete Me with exactly what information you want deleted, and their experts will take it from there. Delete Me sends you regular personalized privacy reports showing what info they found, where they found it, and what they removed. Delete Me isn't just a one-time service. Delete Me is always working for you, constantly monitoring, removing the personal information you don't want on the internet. To put it simply, Delete Me does all the hard work of wiping your and your family's personal information from data brokers' websites. Take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me now at a special discount for our listeners today. Get 20% off your Delete Me plan by texting Hard Factor to 64000, 64000. Text Hard Factor, all one word, to 64000. That's Hard Factor, all one word, to 64000, 64,000. Message and data rates may apply. See terms for details.
I have honestly noticed a huge decrease in the amount of bullshit calls I've been getting since signing up for Delete Me.
Dude, like honestly, I said, ChatGPT has them as the number one. They're because they are. I mean, you type in like, "How do I get rid of my data online?" They're like, "Well, you just go use Delete Me, dummy."
Guess what? Here you go.
Yeah. Also, the live comment from Tiller about sounds like Will's mic, his audio was hit with a 25% tariff. If you're listening on to the audio version on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you won't hear anything. But if you're listening to the live version, Will's microphone sounds like
YouTube.
It's a little bit like the Commanders' defense. It's a little bit suspect.
You guys didn't tell me before the game.
It was kind of, you were good. You were good for the first. You were good.
My teammates didn't.
It's an internet issue.
You were good about it. You were good before the show and during most of your segment, but that ad read was.
It happens on and off for the past year.
Like you were in a fishbowl.
Did too.
Oh
yeah. It's the internet. It's okay. Nothing we can do about the internet. That's okay.
It's okay.
But let's talk about
defense.
All right,
Elon.
Well,
Musk.
I mean, no, they can do something about that. Adam Peters, $90 million in cap space, and a lot of draft picks. So we'll be
right.
I will say they shouldn't have brought Marshawn Lattimore. They shouldn't have done it. Anyway, but I will say this: Elon Musk is at it again, guys. I mean, after you Sieg Heil at the presidential inauguration, you don't then appear via video conference at Germany's fringe far-right party's rally on the eve of the destruction of the Auschwitz death, or the liberation of the Auschwitz death camps, and tell the people that they should not feel guilt about the previous indiscretions of the country. You don't do it unless you're Elon Musk.
Well, they didn't do it, Pat, right?
And that's exactly what he did. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but this
he
is
showed up to so many cheers.
Scarier. It's getting scarier what Elon's doing. It's not like, your political foe or someone you didn't support here in the States who you should be concerned about. It's fucking Elon Musk. He showed up to AfD, which is an alternative for Germany, the AfD party. It's a far right party in Germany. A couple things that they support, as you would imagine any far right party. They're into traditional roles for women. They're opposed to modern feminism. They argue that climate change is natural. They are against gay marriage. In 2017, Bjorn Höcke, one of the founders of the AfD, gave a speech in Dresden in which, referring to the Memorial of Murdered Jews of Europe, stated, quote, "We Germans are the only people in the world who have planted a memorial of shame in the heart of their capital." And, like a German far-right party. Anyway, they had a rally Saturday night, Friday night.
Isn't that a good thing to say, though? Because it's shameful what they did.
Well, no. So
I'm going to remember history.
I think Pat's going to get to me. There's a much more alarming thing he said. I think that to say that you shouldn't feel guilt, and then he went on to say, you shouldn't be responsible for the sins of your father, let alone your grandfather. I agree with that, and I think that all makes sense. Although I like to make fun of the Germans for being 2 generations away from being psychopaths, but I agree with it. But he said something about multiculturalism, which is very alarming.
Let's get to the clip. A week after his Sieg Heil.
Excited for the AfD, and I think you are really the best hope for Germany. I think some things that something I think that is just very important is that people take pride in Germany and being German. This is very important. It's okay to be proud to be German. This is a very important principle, it's okay. It's good to be proud of German culture, German values, and not to lose that in some sort of multiculturalism that dilutes everything. I think there's frankly too much of a focus on past guilt, and we need to move beyond that. Children should not be guilty of the sins of their parents, or even let alone their parents, their great grandparents, maybe even.
Okay, those are the statements. I didn't put the dramatic music in there. That was just the
no, I know.
Find it.
So the definition of multiculturalism is the idea that different cultures can coexist in a society, and that these differences should be respected and supported. It's also what America was founded on, like freedom of religion and stuff like that.
Definitely not Germany.
What the fuck is he talking about?
So I have a theory. Because you got to ask yourself, you're not a German, right? He's not even really an American, I guess. I mean, I guess he's a naturalized citizen who was here illegally. Why are you supporting a far-right party in a country you're not a citizen of? And why are they so fired up about it?
The Nazi salute.
It's because he wants authoritative governments in power so that he can fucking get more powerful.
So he can get richer because they're more favorable to his businesses. Yeah,
it's fucking creepy, man.
He
It's
looks
creepy as
like a
shit.
German.
Yeah.
but he sure does. But they no, yes, I don't think it's very much more complicated than that. He makes more money when right wingers are in office. Ipso facto, he wants right wingers in office.
Like we said in a sketch well over a decade ago, he wants only one car in all of Zealand.
In all of Zealand.
Only the Tesla. Hey, did you know that his employees, or not his employees, but somebody like hollow projected the Zig Heil on the Berlin Tesla Gigafactory?
I did see
that. That is going to get Elon's goat.
It's been going everywhere. Not only did they do the video Zig Heil thing on the Tesla thing, but everywhere where there's a Tesla sign, people are writing like "fuck you, fascist," like on all the Tesla signs everywhere. Like he's getting hit pretty hard.
I mean, he contributed $250 million to Trump's campaign, and he's going to do that all around the world.
For him, he's looking at it like that's a business investment that's going to pay off for him in the long run. I mean, I think everything with him is about becoming more of the richest man in the world.
It's about time you guys got back to power, okay? Enough of this crap in Germany.
Let's go ahead and buy this election. What do you say?
Round two. What do you say?
You used to be a lot more respected and proud, Let's get back to that.
I just one last thing. So Musk did
contract, by the way. What do you do?
Confidence, yeah.
Musk did a Twitter Spaces like last month with the leader of the AfD. The chancellor candidate responded by calling Hitler a, quote, communist social guy and arguing that the AfD is the exact opposite. So they're doing the gaslighting where Nazis were actually leftist socialists, which is a big thing that's going on right now. And Musk was like, yeah, I agree. Totally. Yes. Hitler was a socialist lefty. Which is just not
it's the National Socialist Party of Germany. That's literally their name.
You got to share.
Yeah, well, but that's
if you were Aryan.
The word.
If you were Aryan, it was
the Nazis were the National Socialist Party of Germany. That's their.
Do you think the Nazis were socialists?
But isn't socialism like everyone shares? They tried to kill everyone besides
the party. Originally had socialist ideals that Hitler ripped apart absolutely and changed the entire direction.
They were the National Socialist Party.
Right, they're socialists for a particular group of people.
Aryans. Yeah, socialists for Aryans. That was the Nazis.
Yeah.
They weren't socialists. It wasn't the name.
Aryans for Aryans.
They were not socialists. Well, Louis Gohmert said that on the floor of the House, but they weren't.
Live score update: Chiefs up 14-10.
Nice.
See, you got to root for the Eagles, Pat. If the Chiefs do what they could do right now, you got to root for. I'm sorry, we cannot have anybody rooting for the Chiefs. I'm sorry,
can't have it.
Can't have it.
The Chiefs are like the Nazis.
Can't have it. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to go that far, but it makes me feel when they win, and maybe so.
Not good for everybody.
Huge Dick Pat, nice to meet you.
Well, you're gonna have the data.
See, it's a lie. It's not true.
Okay,
but people believe it because I said it enough.
You can still fudge the Adam Sense data and make it. Okay.
They better not put my size on there. just my performance.
The old school one did.
Yeah.
You can manipulate that thing so easily. Stick a.
Now we're talking about how to game it before the show.
Yeah.
All right. Enough Nazi talk. Let's talk about Sasquatch. Okay. I have a man. He might be the biggest down on your luck loser of all time, and what he did to his wife is just, unforgivable. First up, honestly, do you guys think there's a Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Yeti somewhere in the forest or the snow-capped mountains?
I don't think so.
Define Bigfoot or Sasquatch.
This
gorilla man.
Yeah.
No, we would have found it.
A humanoid type? No.
Humanoid gorilla that lives in the American Northwest forest.
Yeah.
Great hoax, though, by the guy that did the OG one.
One of the best hoaxes ever. The Capruder film or whatever it's called.
The Zapruder film is Kennedy being shot.
What's the Sasquatch then?
The fake Sasquatch film.
Black and white one where he's walking.
This one.
No, it's not black and white. Yeah, it's the
it's color.
That's the classic one, yeah.
That's when they broke down to to identify it. Like someone broke
Parts
down.
of the
It was
Z
like,
films.
this is a human.
I'm more
It's
of
called
a
the
fan of-
Patterson Grimm film.
There you
Patterson or the
There you go.
PGF if you're in the know.
There you
Also
go.
known as the Patterson film.
There you
I'm
go.
more of a fan of
Patterson.
the Loch Ness monster because I like the water. I think the
I
water's
thought you were
cool.
going to say Chupacabra because I feel like that one's also
Sure,
pretty
that's
good.
cool too. But I'm more a fan of things in the water because no one knows what's in the water. It's like
Yeah, mysterious.
Well, a now 57-year-old British Columbia man, name of course not released. I guess they do that over there. I'm guessing Richard. He believes that there's Sasquatch out there, and he has spent countless hours away from his home and his wife on Sasquatch finding expeditions. I like
an
he's probably
excuse
just
to get away from the wife.
he's just throwing rocks behind his head and standing really still, pretending a Sasquatch is behind them.
Yeah,
What was
And
that?
yeah, what was
Oh,
that?
I threw it.
That was
he's missing kids' birthdays.
he freezes.
Definitely a Richard, by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah,
nailed it.
definitely Richard. And wouldn't you know it, all those Sasquatch finding expeditions away from home eventually led to his wife divorcing him. According to the article by CTV's news article, Andrew Weichel, it was one such venture that led to the couple's separation in August 2020. His wife told the court that he went on a camping trip to Vancouver Island that month in search of the mythical ape-like creature and brought along an ex-girlfriend without telling her. So, I mean, how much more of a fool can you make your wife?
That's what I'm saying. Like he's like, oh, I gotta go look for Sasquatch again.
Yeah.
He's bringing the girlfriends and
You know you're desperate if you bring someone you want to bang camping too, because that's just the smelliest
Yeah.
activity that you can
Sweaty.
you can participate in right before coitus. You know,
you can.
but it's
You're looking past the smell for sure. Yeah.
you're not getting
Also, the
clean
last-
wipes.
No.
But the last guy you think is going to have the balls to cheat on you is a Sasquatch hunter.
yeah.
So, I mean, this
Right.
has got to be just devastating. And
You thought
shocking.
you were
Well,
doing him a
Sasquatch
favor.
hunters are unpredictable. Well,
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Very unpredictable.
Yeah. So once she found out about it, she before Richard returned home, she texted him declaring that the marriage was over, and she never changed her mind. That was back in 2020. Good for her. Again, how much more of a fool can a guy make a woman than cheating on her with on a Sasquatch finding expedition?
it's pretty bad. Yeah.
So now that the divorce was imminent, this loser wanted his wife to pay him spousal support. Okay. So
For his Sasquatch job, because he doesn't make money doing that.
no,
So
he's a
right.
loser.
But it's an important job.
Yeah. Well, if he
But
does find Sasquatch one day, he's going to make it rich. He's going
Right,
to be
right.
very rich.
Right.
And that's what he kept telling her. Hey, if I find him, we're going to be set, sweetheart. And this spousal support claim came.
One day
Yeah. Because
You're gonna be sorry.
she's going to work
right now.
8 to 5, and he's like,
so
"Oh, don't worry."
back in 2016, this loser went to a tiny village in Sayward, and he was staying at a hotel on another Sasquatch finding expedition. So this guy's been hunting for Sasquatch for a decade.
She's paying for it.
Yeah.
Clearly, just hanging out with his buddies.
Oh yeah, they're getting drunk and whatever. And he slipped on an icy staircase and he fell. This was in January of 2016, and he got really hurt. So he had injuries to his ankle, his vertebrae. That led to chronic and sometimes severe pain that continues to this day. And he was unable to work, according to him, because of that. So he was like, "Look, I can't work. She's been supporting me. Now she wants to divorce me. She needs to pay for my expeditions in perpetuity." Basically, is what
Work,
it was saying.
yeah, right. Work was also just him not making money and hunting for Sasquatch, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he never was employed. It sounds like.
No.
Well, now he's a sitting duck for Sasquatch with the ankle injury.
Yeah. So
He's licking his lips.
luckily,
We're gonna have to move, honey.
we got to move closer.
I left my wallet in the woods. It's got my address on it.
If I
He
can just
convinces
walk
her
into
to
the
go
woods.
look for Sasquatch because she's healthy.
Yeah. So luckily, this Justice Baird, who was overseeing their divorce hearings and the spousal, whatever, was like, no, you are not going to get money from your wife because you clearly are okay to have a job because you keep going on these Sasquatch missions. So while you might not be able to hold a job that, requires heavy lifting or physical, exertion because of your back, which is legit, you still seem to make it out there in these expeditions to look for Sasquatch, which means you can do something. So
But
he
that's
said,
passion, Wes.
Yeah.
How can the judge hold? I mean,
The judge
how-
is not a believer, unfortunately.
no, the judge thinks he's
Man, there are so
crazy.
many dudes who do this exact same work and just call it camping.
Right, exactly, Pat.
Right, they're
Yeah.
just outdoorsmen.
They're hanging out with their
man.
buddies and their girlfriends out there.
Right.
What man, it would have been hilarious though if you got like the one judge that was a Sasquatch believer.
Riggleman's
Yeah.
a judge somehow.
Yeah. So the judge said, I accept that he is no longer suited to work requiring a lot of physical strength or stamina, but he told me himself that he has made no effort since 2016 to secure employment in lighter or more sedentary occupations or to retrain for better paying, lower impact jobs. And he keeps going out and walking around in the woods to look for Sasquatch. So clearly he can have a job. So in the end, his Sasquatch expeditions ended up costing him his spousal support that he wanted. He also apparently got $350,000 from that hotel when he slipped on the ice.
That was a question I had. Yeah, did he? Because he's the type of guy that's gonna sue for the good of the mission.
Yeah,
Right.
Right, to find Sasquatch. Yeah.
Did he use that to get better cameras?
yeah, he used it to buy a helicopter, probably.
Yeah.
So he's been living off his
Got a
settlement.
helicopter now.
He's been draining his settlement on these Sasquatch missions away from his wife to fuck his exes, and she was tired of it. And the judge said, no, you're not getting any money from your wife. Actually, but he didn't give either of them the legal costs. He should have given her the legal costs because this was an absolutely ridiculous request by him to make her pay for the remainder of his life for these Sasquatch.
She just wants to be done with him forever.
Yeah.
I'm sure she doesn't at this point.
Oh, he's not done with her though. He'll find another court.
Aren't you married?
Yeah.
Honey, I'm married to the game.
Yeah, this guy's a grifter. You got to admire kind of.
Finding Sasquatch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I could find a picture of him, but I mean, God, what a fool! What a fool this.
He is
poor
kind of
man.
living the dream, right? He's just conning women into supporting his Sasquatch hunting habit.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, there's 100% chance he slipped on purpose.
yeah, there is.
Not to
So-
say that being a con man is a dream, but he's living the dream financially in terms of he doesn't ever have to do anything for himself. These women just pay for his expeditions. I mean, that sounds pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, you got to. I mean, give it up a little bit, you know.
So there you go. No money for the Sasquatch hunter.
He's taking his ex-girlfriends on dates.
Yeah, his wife's paying for his coitus in the woods.
They weren't looking for Sasquatch at all.
No.
They're looking for kumquats. They were,
Yeah,
You didn't shave as I instructed, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. Now I'm going to
We walk-
start the real hunt for Sasquatch.
yeah.
Wear this backpack to hike in before I eat you out.
Sasquatch loves the smell of loves the scent of smelly sex. He'll be,
Look like I found Daddy found a Wookiee.
Ooh, do it, Wes. Nice.
He loves when she makes that sound.
Yeah, that's what he does to her.
You got to work hard for it.
Yeah. All right. Good news. While we were all talking about the Panama Canal and there was a large Canadian freight ship, the Manitoulin, that pulled a Suez Canal and got stuck in a thick sheet of ice in the Erie Canal, or the Lake Erie. I must not.
Oh, man.
Did you guys hear about this? This happened on Wednesday. Take a look at this picture. So they were just completely stuck starting on Wednesday in sub-zero temperatures with a crew of 17 on board in the middle of Lake Erie, like just completely stuck.
Man, that's crazy. I know that there's been like a ton of trade routes that have been opening up as like ice sheets are melting in the ocean. It still trips me out that there are ships that big on our Great Lakes. Like, it's crazy.
Because they're like the size of oceans.
Right.
So
I
are they
imagine
not,
the-
but they're not deep enough where they don't freeze.
they freeze. Oh, they freeze.
Yeah.
Apparently this happens
It's like
several
deeper
times a
lakes-
year,
deeper
but
lakes
not
don't
for
freeze,
this
yeah.
long and probably not to this big of a ship usually. This was pretty big one.
That's wild.
So this does happen because the lake does freeze, and the Coast Guard gets involved, and they have what are called icebreaker boats.
Yeah. They do use these at sea too. When this shit happens.
That's right. So the Manitoulins out there, and they're like, we're stuck. It's cold. So the Coast Guard kept sending out these icebreakers, which can break up the ice and help the ship move because they have sloped hulls, as you saw, with thick steel plating. The bow is often rounded or sloped downward to ride up onto the ice rather than ramming straight through it. So they don't ram through the ice. They actually come from the top and smash down, breaking up the
That'd be
ice.
a fun job.
Is it a mechanism that does it?
They're just they're very top heavy, Pat. So they're sharp and they're top heavy, similar to a Milwaukee meteorologist who just got fired for calling Elon Musk a Nazi, Sam Caffell. They're very top heavy, and that's how they break up the ice.
Oh,
Good Lord,
A lot happening in
the
that
heavies. Yeah,
she could break some ice.
she's a nice breaker.
Those
She
are
work-
my favorites.
she should go work for the Coast Guard now that she's fired.
Those will start some conversations.
There you go. That was the joke.
Yeah, that's pretty much the whole reason I wrote this story.
Yeah, that's a
Sam Caffell's rack. Because on Saturday, the ship was freed and everything's fine.
Where is she now?
Yeah, I don't know. She's
Yeah,
gonna
we
be doing
picked her up.
fine though. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know.
It's
Here
kind of
she
fucked up
is.
she got fired, man. So someone, she became like a target of like someone canceled her. They're like, look at this. Here's where she works.
Yeah.
Oh,
Pretty
well,
much.
maybe does she want to work at Hard Factor? I mean, I know that like, we take people with all views here.
We
And,
could use her. Here she is stretching out a sweater. She's a seamstress's nightmare. But she's gonna be okay. Some tells me she's
Yeah, live comment. Big Fudge says she's breaking all the ice. Yeah, she
she is. So, anyways, the Manitoulin after 3 days stuck in Lake Erie is moving again. They're okay, thanks to the coast.
Oh,
Guard.
good for them.
Yeah,
Good for them. And
You
let's
missed it.
make sure Sam, finds it.
she'll get back on her feet just like the Manitoulin.
Missed that
Yeah,
picture.
good.
Yeah, right.
It's gonna take some core strength though to get her up there.
Yeah, she's
Back
really got to
on her
work on
feet.
that lower back. Yeah, because it's a lot of stress.
Something tells me she's gonna fall on her back because she's top heavy or her front. I don't know how that works.
Either way, depending on the momentum.
She's buoyant, and that's the show. That's gonna do it for Hard Factor. Thank you for listening. Please spread the word. Most importantly, get out there and have a great fucking day. Talk to you tomorrow.
The cream of the crop!